going on, everybody? We got some Marvel Snap news we're going over today, so it's going to be a bit more of a chill video, more of a discussion video. We had a couple things of news come out recently, so I just wanted to make sure that in case you don't follow the official channels, that you were aware of what's going down. The kind of big headline item is that the series drops are going to be taking effect. Series drops meaning when they first announced Series 4 and 5, they said that cards over time would drop from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, and maybe even eventually, some cards from 3 may go to 2. Just that general trickle. And we have the first batch of them that are announced. The first most important thing is the date is January 31st, so the end of the month, which means, and this is something that I'm doing, you may want to consider, you may want to start hoarding your credits if you're the type of person that is finished with Pool 3. I should clarify that. This mainly is targeted towards people who are finished with Pool 3, because as a card trickles from Pool 4 down to Pool 3, if you don't have that Pool 4 card that now is in Pool 3, you're guaranteed basically to pull it very quickly with your regular Pool 3 pulls, which are, I think, every, 4 boxes, 8 boxes, something like that. Way better than your current rates right now if you're trying to pull a Series 4 card. So, since I have all Series 3 complete, I'm just going to wait for the Pool 4 cards to drop into Pool 3 and Pool 5 to drop into Pool 4, and I'll, dump a bunch of credits as soon as that happens, pull the handful of Series 4 cards I don't have that are dropping down, and go from there. But just wanted to PSA that, let you guys know that that's something I'm doing. That's just if you really want to min-max your pulls. Feel free to keep pulling if you'd rather get the tokens in the meantime. That is an option. Let's say you're not interested in any of the Series 4 that are dropping down. You can keep using your credits until the 31st, and you'll get those 400 or 600 whatever collector's tokens instead of the Series 4 cards, but that's really just 1 or 2 pulls, so I'd probably just save the credits for now. So the first series drop is going to be Super Skrull, Shuri, Black Panther, Valkyrie, and Bast, going from Series 5 down to Series 4. And that's big, because while a lot of these are tech cards, Bast enables a lot of really cool Mr. Negative things. I've seen a lot of people do really cool things with Valkyrie in Cerebro decks. That's awesome, and I'm looking forward to Valk. Black Panther is just kind of like a fun little combo card. I'm not as keen on Black Panther. I think he's cool, but Super Skrull, in my opinion, is the kind of card that you don't really use unless a certain hot location pops up. Like whenever Onslaught's Citadel pops up, toss a Super Skrull in. In general, I don't think he's the best. My kind of big, you should get this card from Series 5 that's dropping down to Shuri. I think Shuri is one of the most fun cards in the game. Enables a whole bunch of decks that are good against Leader as well. So I think Shuri is awesome. Going down from Series 5 to 4 is incredible. That's half the price in tokens if you buy her for tokens. 3,000 tokens is a bargain for Shuri. If you can pull her, even better. I think this is the big one, in my opinion. Bast and Valkyrie are the other two. I think Black Panther and Skrull are more niche, but I know there's a lot of people who really like that Black Panther Zola deck, so if you didn't get Black Panther, that's for you. But in my opinion, it's Shuri number 1, Valkyrie number 2, Bast number 3 for me, in top 3 from Series 5 that are going down. I have Bast. I mess around with Bast a decent amount. It's fun. Series 4 to Series 3, we have She-Hulk, Absorbing Man, Titania, and Luke Cage. So actually, out of all of these, I'm only missing Titania, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess. But I guess some feedback on these cards. She-Hulk is good. I thought she was going to be way better than she is. She's a bit more niche, kind of fits into fewer decks than I thought, but she still is very good. Luke Cage is a lot of fun in that Hazmat combo deck. Other than that, I think he doesn't have a lot of practical applications. I've heard that Titania is good. I don't have her, so I can't really give you an informed opinion. I love Absorbing Man. I think Absorbing Man is so fun. He fits into so many decks. He's not like a top-tier god card, although he got a lot better with the release of Zabu, since I'm sure you guys have seen the Spider-Man, Absorbing Man combos to lock down 2 lanes. But even like Absorbing Man with Black Bolt, Absorbing Man with Doctor Doom, so you can go like Wave, Doom, Absorbing Man, Odin, or something like that. So that's incredible and a lot of fun. Absorbing Man is just one of those cards that fits into so many decks. So that becoming a Series 3 card is awesome. That is like a pull him right away, start messing around with him. So yeah, that's the main line right here. When cards drop a series, they become 10 times more common in the Collector's Reserve. So it's like a 0.25% up here. I think this is like a 2.5%, and now you have a 25% when they go to Series 3. So that is huge. Titania is probably pretty solid as well. But I think the shining star here is Absorbing Man, unless you really want to go for the Luke Cage combos. Before we move forward, I just wanted to give some thoughts on that, because I had been souring a little bit on card acquisition in the game. You guys know me. I've been, if anything, you guys would probably label me a shill for how supportive I've been of most monetization and progression decisions in this game. I did make a video about how progression needs to be improved recently, though. And the main target of that was you don't get Series 4 and 5 cards fast enough. It's a little bit too expensive. Even paying hardcore players don't get Series 5 cards. It was really just the top of the top of the top, you know, content creators who make lots of money off of each video that can then turn that money back into the game, getting all of the new cards for the most part. Side note, Regis Kilman has a great video on that if you guys want to watch that. But I think he covered a lot of that topic pretty well. But my biggest beef has been that it was too hard to keep up. And not that I think you should be able to get all of the Series 4 and 5 cards instantly, but I think just the rate of acquisition was not high enough. So those cards coming down, I think, is a great step. And if we see these series drops at a, in my opinion, it should be a near monthly cadence. If that happens, I think all of my beefs with progression are addressed and I'm kind of good, more or less. But let's move on. So I already said the date is planned for January 31st. As with anything, if they have issues with the patch, it may get delayed slightly. One note that they made, as of right now, there are 2 cards that will never drop in series from Series 5. That is Thanos and Galactus. That is because they think they're just too epic. They are, you know, the big iconic villains, so they're not going anywhere. So if you have either one of those pinned in your shop, don't worry, you don't have to wait to unpin them or wait for them to drop in series. It's not happening. The next thing that they announced was first edition badges. And what this means is if you acquire a Series 5 card before it drops, it will have a badge when you look at it. All that tells you is that you had the card before it dropped. That's cool. I like the idea. My general thought on this is I'd like to see a little bit more. So I need to see what it happens in action. Like if the first edition badge is shown on the card while it's in play, cool, that works. That's fine with me. I was thinking either some special split background, split coloring, something like that to show that it's a first edition split. Just because when you get a Series 5 card, it's very expensive. 6,000 tokens is a lot for the average player, not like the top of the top of the top of the top. So let's say I bought one of these cards this week and then I find out it's dropping in 2 weeks and I spent 6,000 tokens. Yeah, you got the card early. That's pretty cool. You got to play with it a little bit early, but it also is going to feel a little bit bad, like I made the wrong choice. Now, if the series drops are consistent enough and predictable enough where you know what cards are coming down, then you can just say, like, you know this card's going to drop next month, so you don't need to buy it early. So as long as that communication is good enough and we can, you know, accurately predict the cadence, I think the first edition badge is just a cool extra bonus feature. And finally, token shop improvements. They basically have said that they want to keep looking at ways to make changes to Series 3 progression and then progressing into Series 4 and 5. They have nothing to announce on that yet, but it's good to announce, or good to hear, that they are at least focusing on improving that experience moving forward. That's really all I wanted to hear from them. Main thing was the series drops. It shows you are addressing the biggest problem with a pretty big move initially, and that you are continuing to listen to feedback. And I think Second Dinner has been great at that in general, of not only listening to feedback, but making a move and then continuing to listen to feedback. So that's the major news. The other minor news is for the Chinese New Year, I believe this event is, if I'm not mistaken. We have an event going on, one of those kind of browser events in game. You have to use, I think, Shang-Chi, Jubilee, Swordmaster, and I think one other card. In game, you'll take down the health of the Nyan Beast, and if we completely defeat the boss, you get a Swordmaster Lunar New Year avatar. I think there's also a $5 bundle available in game that has a Jubilee art, Jubilee avatar, and I think some credits. I'm pretty sure it's like a $5 bundle. It's one of the best values we've gotten so far. So whenever that bundle goes live, I think it might be live already. If you are the type that spends money on the game, I think that is a very, very strong value. You probably should consider purchasing that if you're the type that spends money. But yeah, that's all we got for now, guys. Let me know what you guys think of the series drops that were announced and what you think they should do moving forward. Do you think they did enough, or do they need to do more? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.